Hi and welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Going to give a quick overall review of Slammiversary 2020. The big show now has been on our screens now, and I've just managed to have an opportunity to watch the show and now want to give you my thoughts on it. I think overall the show was a success. I really liked a lot of the matches involved. We got quite a few new names and surprises and potentially couple of returns there as well. Particularly loving the end of the show, the cliffhanger, which I'll go into very shortly. But I'll try and go through the show as chronological as possible. Loved the intro package that was there with the superstar that looked to be the mystery superstar walking towards the ring, and loads of people discussing of who will be coming in. We've got, of course, the reporter that we usually had as well, saying about how we're going to get all these names coming in, former world champions, and literally everything that was promised was delivered. We knew already that Anderson and Gallows were signed, and we were waiting to see what impact they were going to have throughout the show. So there was many teases where we thought they might come in throughout the night, but we didn't get to see them until to the very end of the show. But we kicked off with the Rascals Open Challenge, which was really fun to see. We had the Motor City Machine Guns make their return in a match I really wanted to see when talking about the Open Challenge earlier on in the previous video. We got to see this potential, arguably, dream match, and it was pretty solid. I quite enjoyed it. Motor City Machine Guns, of course, picking up the victory, which was nice to see them to make a return, and some added depth to the tag team division as well. They later in the night were to make a challenge to the tag team champions, which will be a match that will be on Impact this upcoming Tuesday. Of course, that match was the North versus Ken Shamrock and as well Sami Callihan. The North managing to retain dissension amongst the ranks. Shamrock and Callihan couldn't keep it together, and the North remain champions for even longer than a calendar year. And it looks like they got a great challenge as well, the Motor City Machine Guns as well going forward. So looking forward to that match on Impact on Tuesday. And it's a great thing when you've got all those people watching that pay-per-view to give a marquee match on your television product, give an excuse to watch on Tuesday. Perfect booking in this sense. I really enjoyed that. Looking elsewhere on the show, we had Moose defending the TNA Championship in an old school rules match against Tommy Dreamer. Not the strongest match on the show, I have to be brutally honest, but not really to be too surprised by that. I wasn't so much looking forward to it going in, but there was a couple of nice little spots in the match, and of course, rightly, Moose did retain. Potential slight disappointment that nothing was made more of this championship at this stage, but one thing I would say, in fact, two nice little points I did like about Moose. I loved the new part to his entrance music. I thought that was really good. A nice little touch added to his character. A bit of layering in there for him. And also, I liked the call from Don Callis on commentary. Does Moose need a manager? I think it's a great shout, personally. I think that this would be something that would actually give Moose that extra edge to push him towards the top. Don't get me wrong, a great athlete in the ring, a great promo, someone that's always been a nearly man in Impact Wrestling to beat the main event. I think a manager is just what he needs and could push him towards the top. I wonder if there's a super manager out there that would be good for Moose going forward. Going on to the Knockouts Gauntlet match, overall it was a fun match. There was a couple of surprises in there. Katie Forbes making a return. No new knockout coming into the ranks, which was a slight shame. I was hoping for Tenora Conti to come in, but that wasn't to be on this show. A couple of surprise entrants. Johnny Bravo coming in as both Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. Wasn't such a fan of these moments, to be brutally honest. Of course, the Rosemary of Johnny Bravo did actually eliminate Havoc from the match, which I suppose in that way could have made some sense. But we looked at the Royal Rumble this year. I wasn't such a fan of Santina Morella. It looked like obviously Impact didn't mind this moment having Johnny Bravo doing those spots, so I wasn't a fan of that. But elsewhere in the match, they built up the tag team division a bit. They also had great moments there, of course, teasing the split later on with Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. It was a clear accident in the match. What will happen going forward past this, we'll have to wait and see. But they touched most of the bases. Josh Matthews mentioned about Knockouts Tag Team Championships. I'm excited about that prospect as well. So overall, we got what we wanted from this, and not surprisingly, from the very start, Kylie Rae was in there from number 2, went on to win the entire thing, pinning Taya Valkyrie, the last competitor to be knocked out of the Gauntlet match. Of course, they're the last two in a pinfall situation in the Gauntlet after doing the over-the-top rope for the rest of the match. And it was a super kick that got Kylie Rae the victory. Heath Slater made his debut in Impact Wrestling, had himself a little promo on the mic. Rohit Raju was to come out and intervene here with this, but it saw a nice little way for Heath Slater to actually actually get some offense in on Purrazzo, and you just felt some seriousness with Heath immediately. I kind of feel already looking at this guy, he could be something more in this company. He could be taken seriously. He had a moment with Rhino backstage as well. Will he be in a tag team? Will he actually turn on Rhino at some point? He kind of had, for me, a tweener feel about him. I didn't feel like he was necessarily going to be a face or a heel here, but certainly wouldn't surprise me if he went down the heel side of things. But I am happy to see him there. I like the storyline that's been put in with him. He's not supposed to be there. He is a free agent, hence wearing the free agent t-shirt. Scott D'Amore telling him he's not meant to be there. Rhino saying, come to the building on Tuesday and give me a call when you're here. I'm going to try and sort this out. I thought that was a great little touch there. Gives a great storyline immediately for Heath Slater. It's the fact that he's actually someone that's just turned up. He wasn't actually signed. I think it's a great storyline going forward, and could like to see where it's going to go from here. The X Division Championship match was solid between Chris Bay and Willie Mack. Willie Mack surprisingly losing the belt, which was actually, for me, it was a big surprise because he only recently won the belt. I believe at the first tapings they did, which were, you know, the without fans at the arena, which was supposed to be for the Rebellion pay-per-view, which was done over the set of a couple of week tapings. So it's surprised to see him lose it, but Chris Bay has been so great since he's come into the X Division, and it's just great to see him get his moment, get his spot. And no Johnny Swinger at ringside, although Johnny Swinger did have a brief cameo on the show. He had actually taken Anderson and Gallows' vehicle to the arena. Loved the fact that he mentioned Ole Anderson and just said he was going to take the keys. And just Swinger being Swinger, he's so much fun to watch on TV. So for me, I was quite positive with what I saw here. And again, another tease of how we didn't see Anderson and Gallows. And again, we saw it again backstage. We thought we were going to get an interview with them when the I can't remember her name at the moment, but the announcer was going to actually, the interviewer was going to try and get with them, but it was Rich Swann coming out saying he was interested about the main event and who the mystery person was going to be. He was on crutches and saying that he is going to be keeping an eye on the Impact Championship going forward. We got, as I said, the Tag Team Championship match we discussed already, but then come to my favourite match of the evening, the Knockouts Championship. I tell you, Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo stole the show for me. Solid 15 to 20 minute match here between these two ladies. Went for the story of what it was, the technicalness of Purrazzo, the powerhouse of Jordynne Grace. Literally done a match to perfection for me. I thought these two ladies really put a stamp on why the Knockouts division is such a strong division throughout the entire of wrestling and not just in Impact. It's really one of their strengths. And I tell you, a perfect finish here. One of my favourite parts of this was the finish. Deonna Purrazzo winning the championship, but not just with the Fujiwara armbar, a double Fujiwara, both arms hooked. It looked gruesomeness, and I think that this actually should be her finisher going forward, not just the one arm. Go with both arms. It looked awful. You can't even tap to it. Jordynne Grace, you had to hear, okay, I give up. Such a magic moment to see that Slammiversary. That will go through the archives, I'm pretty sure. Moving on to the main event, of course, we had Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, Trey. Those were the three going for the vacant Impact Championship. We knew we had one mystery person. It turned out to be Rich Swann. He duped us. And I did feel to myself maybe there was a chance he could come back, but not in this spot at this moment. I felt his return was near, but not so soon. But he was a part of the main event. And just as we thought it was going to be a four-way, it was just like originally advertised, the five-way. We got, of course, the world-class maniac Eric Young making his return and being part of this match. And you saw very quickly Eric Young, how underutilized he's been in WWE. Yes, Sanity was good. Sanity was fun at the time. But from the minute he went from NXT to SmackDown and Raw, literally was a complete waste. And you saw immediately Eric Young has got a lot to give here. The mic work, the face work, the ring action, just the psychoticness of this guy immediately just felt important and felt at home once again back in Impact Wrestling. Very pleased to see him there. Trey was the first one eliminated by Eric Young, ironically, was actually stopping a pinfall attempt on Ace Austin because he wanted to get Ace Austin out, but was hit with a pile driver. Earlier on in the match, Madman Fulton had been sent to the back, by the way, from Ace Austin, so no backup for him. It got to a point that Rich Swann had managed to roll Eric Young up for the free count, a surprising free count, so it kind of protected Young a little bit. We saw then Young completely destroy Swann's leg once again. It was done so gruesomely and done so perfectly. This builds a few for them going forward into Bound for Glory superbly. And it just wrote Swann out of the match as well. Ace Austin managed to take him out quite clearly. And it left to the final two, which was actually a nice touch really. We had two of the originals in the main event because it kind of put them massively over that they were meant to be there from the start. Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin. I did have a touch wondering, I saw Ace's tattoos. the tease of the Aces and Eights, I did wonder, was we going to get a new leader and a new form of the Aces and Eights going forward? No, that wasn't to be, although it would have been kind of an interesting touch if you had Anderson and Gallows, along with Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, perhaps D'Lo at the helm. That would have been an interesting stable, wouldn't it? Well, we kind of got a tease to it. Eddie Edwards managed to pick up the victory. I love the fact he had that new finisher that was there. I think it was an old finisher he'd used to win his first world title, not just the Boston Knee Party here to pick up the victory. So Eddie Edwards, a safe pair of hands. Very pleased he's Impact Champion again. I think it's the right move at this stage because that belt needs stability. Eddie Edwards can bring that, and he can carry that belt up until when they're ready to give it to their next main eventer to carry the company forward, in my opinion. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton were attacking on Eddie Edwards after the match. Anderson and Gallows actually came down to the ring, which was fun, and it looked like could we have had that stable, but no, it wasn't to be. No, they absolutely destroyed Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Eddie Edwards getting in on the action as well, and those three, Anderson, Gallows and Eddie Edwards, celebrated as we went off air. But of course, as we went off air, we got one more return. EC3, and what a great way to have it. EC3 just throwing the glass against the wall with the three there, turning around, and literally you can just see main event written all over it. The tag team division has been given some definitely much needed strength. It looks like the main event scene has been given some much needed strength. Impact Wrestling is looking a lot healthier after Slammiversary. The question is, will we get any more people joining from this point in future shows? I don't see why it has to stop here. If it's been a massive success, you never know. One or two more names might join going forward. But from what I can see, we've got ourselves, I'm trying to think of the top of my head here, but at least 6 or 7 new faces through the door here. And I think that's a successful return for what was promised here going into the show. Like I say, Anderson and Gallows, Motor City Machine Guns, think of those matches with the North, with each other. We've got an exciting tag team division once again going forward. EC3, Heath, Slater, Eric Young, all part there in Impact Wrestling as well, which will definitely benefit the X Division and the main event scene. It's certainly looking a lot healthier. But that's my thoughts there of the show. Like I said, to give a rating out of 10, I give the show a 7. I think it was solid overall. Like I say, everyone kind of got their point to shine. Couple of matches perhaps weren't as strong. Like I say, Moose and Tommy Dreamer not as strong. The Knockouts Gauntlet was a little bit messy in places. I did feel a minor part of the show as there was a few technical difficulties. I will point that out and does go into my grade of the show a little bit. But overall, I was massively satisfied, very happy. I think the show delivered. I think a pat on the back is deserved to Impact Wrestling. And I look forward to seeing what they're going to deliver from Tuesday onwards. But that's all from me. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been SCW, the Wrestling Channel, here on YouTube.com. Take care.